Why Aventador SVJ is the most super duper supercar ever? Well, let's tick the marks. The height of the hood at the knee level? Yep. Super aggressive appearance? Yes. With more than over G-Class? Yes. Wheels on a central nut? Yeah. Carbon fiber everywhere? Yep. A baby size air intake? Have it. The wing, which is larger than a bench? Well, it's definitely here. See the doors, which open upwards? Yep. And finally, an extremely uncomfortable seating. Here it is! Launch control. Affirmative! The exhaust sound that will deafen you. On the spot, a huge 12-cylinder, 6.5-liter engine. Affirmative. It's not just an Aventador, it's an Aventador SVJ. This is the Nurburgring record holder, the fastest car on the North Loop. And probably the loudest one! When shifting in a course mode, a single clutch robot will rip off your neck bone. It's not by the chance that the whole seat is rigid, but there is a big headrest in the upper area. The base of the Aventador is a carbon monocoque, meaning it's a real sports racing technology, supplemented by a truly right suspension. There is a push rod here. That means that everything is horizontal. Due to this, at least on paper, it's a perfect supercar. It has everything you can ask from a supercar. But the true SVJ showpiece, which allowed it to set a record at the Nurburgring, is aerodynamics. The downforce is not just 40% greater than predecessors, the limited Aventador SV. Here we have the second version of the ALA system. The idea is that when downforce is necessary, special air ducts inside the car overlap. Thus the downforce jumps to the maximum. Have you seen this aerodynamic body kit? It's like a GT4 series racing car, to say the least. But when you need a low resistance, this channel is open and the air flows through the car. Moreover, ALA can work in a reverse phase. It means the left side of the car is pressed down and the right side is not. Due to the system, the rear steering axle, the mat engine and a bunch of other bells and whistles, Lamborghini was able to set the record on the North Loop. 6 minutes 44 seconds. That's 3 seconds faster than the mad GT2 RS that we did test drive earlier. Of course the numbers are great, but I want to repeat one thing. Launch control. ESC off, Corsa mode, brakes to the floor, gas to the floor, let's go! One might wonder that Lamborghini produced a real gem. Well, hold on. The Aventador SVJ isn't frail of its own merits. For start, its space-born appearance. Yeah, 10 years ago Lamborghini designers created a contour that even nowadays looks like it came from the future. Alas, they had to make sacrifices. As for visibility inside the car, well, just none of it. Instead of a windshield, there is just some kind of giant show window in front of you. A huge glass that lies almost horizontally. It's quite easy to see the driver and passenger from the outside through this showcase, but from the inside, I see the road before me only at 4 meters. There are enormous pillars on the left and right, and dead spots are everywhere. From behind, due to the huge wing, I see wing only. Yeah, this car was the Nurburgring record holder. But within the city, this record is good for nothing. Let me explain. Nordschleife, the North Loop, is a racing track with perfect tarmac. Naturally, the suspension tuning and the car as a whole has been made specifically to ride the track the best way possible. Therefore, it's impossible to drive this car in the city. It's terribly stiff. As a result, we have the very familiar supercar feature. It literally bounces on bumps. A stiff suspension on a smooth tarmac would be a huge advantage, but in the city, it only cranks the car. Here, we rode over a small bump and we jumped. Therefore, to drive in this car in the city is very tiresome experience. It's shaking, it's huge, it has no visibility. The gearbox, this super light single clutch robot, it literally breaks your neck. What the hell is this? You ride like if you're at some kind of 90s rock gig. You can say this is SVJ, Hota, race model, super veloce. The hell it is. The fact is that the Nurburgring is a very long track with very long straights, where the car is blown through quite well, and where the aerodynamics are very important. Most of the tracks are not like that. Yeah, somewhere in Spa or Silverstone the Aventador will ride awesome and the ALA system would help. But on a small racetrack it simply will not accelerate to such speeds, and there are no long curves where the aerodynamics will help. Well, to close the driving shortcoming subject, it's still Lamborghini, WAC. It's not a Ferrari where racing is in the genes. For example, the electric power steering is configured here so-so. It's very heavy and not informative in Corsa mode. It's definitely not a Ferrari electric power steering, let alone McLaren hydraulic one. And finally, the sound. At first you enjoy it, but it's impossible to ride with it for a long time. I've been recording this talk for about 15 minutes and my ears are already buzzing. You can say you got Lamborghini, sit back and relax. But if you have bought a car like this, it's gonna be hard for you to jump with joy. The price is outrageous. For this kind of money you can buy a GT3 car. No jokes, this is the GT3 racing car prices. Okay, GT4. And you still have enough dough to buy a Maybach. Except that in Aventador for this money you'll get 2005 Audi A8 multimedia system. Yeah, they added Apple CarPlay, but they forgot to remove Audi Air intakes from the 2000s. The disadvantage of Aventador lies not only in price, but in weight as well. The beast weighs over 1.5 tons, that's a lot for a supercar. Let's add the four-wheel drive and the car character, which is tuned to the understeer mostly. I know this firsthand. Last year I was in the passenger seat of the Aventador SVJ. I rode with professional driver who starred in the Aventador commercial. You can easily find and watch it on YouTube. So we rode on a wet road and SVJ just plainly refused to go sideways in a controlled manner. The wheel angles are small. The car itself is very heavy, and we have a front-wheel drive which strives to pull the car forward. It turns out that you literally start to jump instead of drifting. So what happens? Can we assume that Aventador SVJ with its exorbitant price, superb looks, Nurburgring records which are useless in city, and excellent technical data on paper, is a complete bullshit in real life? Of course not! The Aventador, and even more the SVJ, is an emotion car, especially when it's a roadster. The magic of Aventador is that even at 30 km per hour you feel like you're driving at least 250. And this sound! I don't know which car could sound louder. Mind you, after all, take a look. This time we are shooting my talk and my riding not in the town, but beyond the city limits. We're on the highway around the Moscow. We do it for a good reason, we feel pity for Moscow residents. The car is too loud. What a cool engine! Whoa! You're forgetting about all the flaws. You can say you're drawing a longbow. Nope, I'm not a liar. Now I'm gonna prove it to you. So we rode up to the tunnel. Are you ready? Let's go! Whoa! Phew. My ears are buzzing. Forget the lousy steering. Forget the price of a spaceship. Forget that it's morally and physically outdated. Forget that it's heavy and you can't feel the steering in urban conditions. Forget that I'm already deaf. This is the most vigorous Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. It was Artemiy M. Drag times test drive. I lost my voice, I lost my hearing, and I'm gonna see ENT doctor now. Later, folks.